But first today, a shark actually stolen in broad daylight from the San Antonio Aquarium.
Hard to believe, newly released surveillance video shows the 3 suspects that officers believe are responsible for the fishy disappearance. It appears to be 2 men and a woman who reportedly put the shark in a stroller, covered it with a blanket, and took off in a red truck.
Eyewitness News reporter Jeremy Baker is live for us outside the scene of the crime. So, Jeremy, here's the question. What kind of shark was it?
Yeah, we're talking about a horn shark. It's not like a great white shark that you would see in the movie Jaws. This one is much smaller, about 2 to 3 feet in length, and it can only survive outside of water with its gills wet for about an hour or 2. And the fact that this shark was stolen in the middle of a busy Saturday afternoon is just one of the many bizarre aspects of this case.
It's a very small shark. It's found in the Pacific. They're bottom-dwelling. They actually do very well in captivity, so they're often found in public aquariums.
How could you steal a shark?
That's a good question, and one of the first I asked Leon Valley Chief of Police Joseph Salvaggio.
Obviously somebody that knows something about the sharks and knows something about what they were doing and why they were doing it.
Chief Salvaggio says this all started early Saturday afternoon when employees say there was something fishy about a truck parked in a no parking zone.
There's a vehicle that they got a good license plate number for that they believe was involved in it.
Around 2:15 p.m., police say one of the suspects grabbed the shark out of the open-top aquarium.
Once they took it out, they put it in some kind of blanket, went into the like a secure area of the building, and the blanket was wet. You could still see the water running off of it. There were employees that witnessed the actual theft and actual inside the employee area, and an employee that followed them out and tried to get them to look inside of the stroller that was dripping water, but they didn't stop and they left.
Police say that employee followed them out of the lot, staying hot on their tail, but the individuals got away. Authorities are ready to sink their teeth into very important evidence.
The aquarium has still shots that they can provide and video that they're going to provide.
Now, these are pictures that we received this afternoon where you can clearly see 3 suspects. We reached out to the San Antonio Aquarium about this case, but they declined to comment. San Antonio police say they did go to the home where that truck was registered twice, but each time nobody was home. And both the Leon Valley Police Department and San Antonio Police say they will continue investigating this case. Live on the city's northwest side, Jeremy Baker, KENS 5 Eyewitness News.